Webster's dictionary defines globalization as the development of an increasingly integrated global economy marked especially by free trade, free flow of capital, and tapping of cheap foreign labor markets. Although cheap foreign labor is allowing organizations to cut costs and lower their prices for consumers, by using this foreign labor, they are promoting unemployment within their own countries. Countries such as China and India that have encountered huge growth in the face of globalization have done so by providing hardworking, cheap, plentiful labor that also is relatively skilled. In many cases, this foreign labor is lowering the pay or completely taking the place of many domestic products of the lower and medium skilled variety, making it much more difficult to find a decent job. This has created a divide between the upper working class and the lower and middle working class, because not only are lower level jobs harder to find and lower in pay, but upper level job pay is increasing at an alarming rate. In the same way that globalization induced prosperity of foreign nations is widening the income divide, failure of countries running behind the times are contributing by increasing the flow of immigrants. Countries like Mexico that have struggled to keep up with the rising globalization find their citizens giving up and trying to cross into a more beneficial area for themselves and their families, in this case the U.S. The level at which this is happening is lowering the wage rate even more, because the immigrants are more than happy to work for whatever they can get. On the surface, this already looks bad, but as we dig deeper, we realize it is actually getting worse, because as immigration continues, the economic consistency throughout all classes is disappearing, as income is creating a large divide between the rich and the middle and lower class, damaging the foundation on which organizations should be looking out for each other. In other words, if there are such large differences between classes, then the richer class feels more inclined to look out for themselves and abandons any responsibility it felt toward the other classes. The article, As Middle Class Shrinks, P&G Aims High and Low, by Ellen Byron, recognizes that this divide is so prominent that organizations such as Procter & Gamble are having to change the way they target their products. In the past, Procter & Gamble focused its sale efforts on the huge middle class market, but with this divide, their strategies are shifting into the two separate product groups of luxury goods focused at the higher class and bargain goods focused at the middle and lower class. On the other side of the spectrum, third world countries that have experienced globalization see it as nothing more than producing governments with rich officials only concerned with bettering themselves and not their people. Rich countries try to outsource to third world countries to provide more cheap labor, but they end up privatizing key services and making them very expensive so that growth in that country ceases. In conclusion, globalization is really only benefited those at the top income levels of the few countries that have succeeded in globalization, but are further dividing and impoverishing those of lower income levels and of third world countries.